I remember the smirk on my father's face more than the words. He leaned back in his chair, hands folded like a judge delivering a sentence. "Your brother's a natural leader," he said. And my mother, without even looking me in the eye, added, "You can still support him from the background." The papers had already been signed. The family business, my business, was no longer mine. 70-hour weeks, years of sweat, countless nights in that factory breathing dust and chemicals while my brother was off chasing hobbies, all of it had been transferred to him like a gift. I didn't argue, I didn't beg. I simply stood up, walked out of that office, and didn't return the next morning. For the first time in a decade, I slept without an alarm. I stopped checking the ledgers. I stopped answering supplier calls. I watched as my brother sat in my old chair, chest puffed, trying to mimic the confidence he had never earned. My father mistook my silence for weakness. My mother mistook my absence for obedience. But I was neither weak nor obedient. I was planning. It started with the suppliers. Business isn't about family dinners and empty titles. It's about trust built in silence over years. When the biggest supplier called me, furious that my brother ignored their terms, I didn't soothe them. I didn't mediate. I simply said, "Talk to the new boss." Then I let silence do the rest. By the second week, contracts unraveled. Deliveries stopped. Machines went idle. Dad called me at midnight, his voice shaky with something I had never heard before: panic. "Son, we need you back. Just for a bit. Your brother, he's adjusting." I let the line hang until his voice cracked. Then I said, "Let the new boss handle it." And I hung up. By the end of the month, the empire they thought was unshakable was bleeding. Clients were defecting. Workers whispered in break rooms about missed paychecks. And my brother, my so-called replacement, was drowning in responsibilities he never understood. That's when the begging began. First, it was my mother. She cornered me in the driveway, her voice hushed like she was afraid the neighbors might hear. "You don't understand. The family is suffering. Your father, he's not himself." I almost laughed. The family was suffering because they had cut me out of it. Then my father called again. His tone no longer carried authority. "We made a mistake," he admitted. "Come back. Fix this." When I walked into the office, everything looked different. The polished desks were cluttered with unpaid invoices. Phones rang without answers. The smell of desperation clung to the air. My brother sat in the chair that used to be mine. His face was pale, his eyes hollow, like a child caught playing dress-up in clothes that didn't fit. I didn't sit. I stood in the doorway, and for a moment, I let the silence hum like a knife. "You wanted a leader," I said softly. "So lead." My brother opened his mouth, but no sound came. My father's hands trembled on the desk. My mother looked away, ashamed. "You signed everything over," I continued, voice calm, steady. "The business, the contracts, the trust. You left me with nothing, and yet, without me, you have nothing." The weight of my words pressed down on them harder than any shouting ever could. My father finally broke. "We'll change the papers back. We'll undo it. Just save us." I shook my head. "No. You taught me my value when you gave it away. Now you can live with that lesson." I turned to leave. But then I paused, one hand on the doorframe, and delivered the final cut. "You made him the face of the company. Now let the world watch him fail." That was the last time I set foot in that office. A month later, the company was gone, liquidated, its name tarnished, its legacy buried. Suppliers moved on, clients forgot, workers found new paychecks. My brother disappeared into debt. My father aged 10 years in half that time. My mother stopped calling. And me? I built something new, smaller, sharper, leaner. Mine. I no longer carried their name like a burden. I carried it like a gravestone. I've replayed that day in my head 1,000 times. The day they revealed who they truly were. The day I chose silence instead of begging. Calculation instead of anger. Betrayal has a taste. Bitter at first. But if you hold it on your tongue long enough, it sweetens into justice. They thought they cut me out of the family, but really, I cut them out of my future. And as I watch them stumble in the ruins they built, I feel nothing but clarity. Because revenge isn't loud. It's not rage or chaos. It's walking away while the fire you didn't start consumes everything they tried to steal from you. And then, never looking back.